KPRC Channel 2. This is Houston Newsmakers with Cambrell Marshall.
And welcome back to Houston Newsmakers, where we've been talking about taking on hate, fighting bullying and cyberbullying and more. I'm joined now by Dr. Luis Salinas, a sociologist and lecturer at the University of Houston. Good morning to you. Thank you for being here.
Good morning.
You've heard our previous segments. It sounds like, it feels like we're kind of going a different way, and you were saying that there was a point, it seemed like everything was coming toward tolerance and acceptance in our community, and now maybe not so.
Yeah, things appear to be changing. If we go back about 50 years, the city of Houston was very unique. We had all kinds of things being built up here. For example, the Rothko Chapel in 1971 opened for, to celebrate diversity. The Brooklyn Obelisk right behind it to celebrate Martin Luther King, civil rights. More recently had an opera about 5 or 6 years ago, and then very prominent on Allen Parkway and Waugh Drive, Jacome Plensa, a Spanish sculpture, has statues there that represent the different continents of the world, and they're coexisting in that area with one another. So the city of Houston had been moving very much, in this direction. But it seems that within the last year, we're getting sidetracked.
Well, and that's kind of like what the rest of the nation is doing, is it not? I mean, they're getting sidetracked, and maybe the city of Houston not quite as much as the rest of the nation as far as that's concerned.
Correct. What's happening, it seems that within the last year with civil discourse, the concept of tolerance, where we don't even have to agree, but basically we just tolerate each other's presence, has been, I mean, the concept is not being respected as it used to be. And
some people will say, I know that we talked about this once before about the political correctness part of it. People say, well, you don't have to be politically correct anymore, just say what you're going to say. But isn't it important for me, if you and I have different viewpoints, we ought to figure out a way to be able to discuss the differences without a hatred toward each other as that's evolving?
Actually, you're right. What seemed to have happened is, the idea that you can say anything you want, you can express your deepest feelings. Well, that's not really a good idea. For example, I mean, there are limits to that free speech. For example, no, you can't yell, fire in a crowded theater. And so what happens is when people do exhort violence or hatred against other people, we're seeing examples where people start listening to that, and it can have really dire consequences, as we saw, in North Carolina, where somebody sort of totally believed it and went in to correct it armed. But there is hope on this. We have to start turning this around. If we had had this conversation as little as 2 or 3 weeks ago, I would have been very disheartened. However, we had an incident here in Texas yesterday. Spencer came to speak at A&M. He's a white supremacist. He wants non-whites to leave the country, is his view. That's a deplorable view, but he's entitled to his view. However, the good news is there were only about a dozen supporters of his inside supporting him. And outside there were thousands of people against that message of hate.
We have seen in this presidential campaign a lot of comments that have been, I mean, the president-elect is very vocal and saying a lot of different things that have been kind of touching a lot of bases of people, and that's going to be a challenge, is it not? I mean, we can't expect him to change, so does that mean the rest of society has to change in how we receive and interpret these comments along the way?
Actually, I have seen some things where he is telling these very extreme groups to knock it off. Something he didn't do during the campaign, which is, again, giving us a glimmer of hope that maybe the tone in the country will start changing.
We've seen cycles. Our country's gone through cycles. We're just in another cycle where this seems to have been rising to the top. What's your sense of how this is going to evolve going forward?
Well, for the last 50 years, it hasn't been steady progress. There have been little bumps in the road. For example, one of the Houston mayors decided to have this huge open house and invited a town meeting. And he invited members to represent all kinds of groups. And there were literally, just dozens and dozens of groups there. Unfortunately, one of the groups was the KKK. So that event didn't go so smoothly. So that was a little bump. And so what I'm hoping is, we've got over that bump and things smoothened out, moving in the direction of tolerating one another. What I'm hoping is that if we continue moving in this direction, that what we're seeing now with hate crimes are actually up almost 10% from last year, that we can get over this bump too and move into, again, making steady forward.
Well, I'm hoping you're right, and I'm hoping that you'll come back. We'll do this from time to time. We did it a few months ago. We'll do it again going forward and see how everybody's doing, okay?
Oh, good to,
Doctor,
good to see you.
Good to see you. And I'm still sorry that you went to the University of Arizona and not my school, Arizona State. Thank you, Doc. Appreciate it. Just ahead, a sneak peek in next week's program. He is a leader in one of the most important organizations in our community. That's next when Houston Newsmakers continues.